Hello and welcome to GameRomp Easy Mode. This is an easygoing podcast where we're just going to relax and chill and talk about games. I'm one of your hosts, David, and
I'm Deanna.
Nice to have you here, Deanna.
Nice to be here.
It's been a fun week. I got plenty to talk about. I don't know about you.
Other than maybe a little bit of Battle Cats, and that's probably not going to be super exciting. No.
We played more Enshrouded together as well, but...
Yeah, that's also just kind of like updates of like, well, we kind of got some new items and maybe messed around with the house, but...
Yeah, lots of new villagers. It's been fun. But there's also been some other demos that I've played. One of the demos I played a little bit with you, and the other demo I played by myself. And there's some interesting or kind of annoying news that we can talk about too. Which do you think we should do first?
Let's talk about annoying news, I guess.
Okay, sure.
I wonder if this is the news I'm thinking it's going to be.
This is interesting to me, and I only bring it up because we've been playing a lot of Persona lately. We're almost done with it. I'm like at the very top of the tower or whatever, so it's just a matter of time. And this Shin Megami Tensei series, basically, and other games like Dragon Quest Monsters or...
Sorry, no, I'm just laughing because I think this is exactly the news I think.
Yeah, I mean, I told you what we were talking about. Anyway, basically, Nintendo patented... Somehow, the U.S. courts, or patent courts, decided to give Nintendo the go-ahead and officially patent the...
Concept of fighting monsters.
Yes. So the United States Patent Office granted Nintendo the patent, and I'm not going to read the number, it's like...
12 million something.
Yeah. It covers the fundamental gameplay mechanic of summoning a character and let it fight another. Summoning a character and letting it fight another. Now think about that.
That's literally Persona.
Persona, Shin Megami Tensei, Dragon Quest Monsters.
Digimon.
Even like mini-games, like World of Warcraft had like a battling mini-game.
Yeah, I saw that. I didn't read what they were talking about in the subreddit, but I saw that posted in the WoW subreddit. They're like, what does this mean for our minigame now?
Chrono Cross had a minigame where you would collect the monsters and fight them. So many games do this kind of thing. And Nintendo, in their, like, just... Because, I mean, obviously they're a humongous corporation. They're basically like Disney of the game world, right?
Yeah.
They're just, I mean... On one hand, you can't be surprised that a big corporation like that is doing this. But on the other hand, it's just like, it's ridiculous to...
I mean, yeah, they're kind of dicks about it, but also just the fact that the courts let them do this.
Yeah, that's the thing too, like...
I say the courts right now are more responsible for this fiasco than Nintendo.
That's like, yeah, it's like if somebody went and said, I'm the only person allowed to use the word hamburger.
I mean, they've had things like this before with the name of McDonald's when that's literally other people's last names.
Yeah, it's just, it's really ridiculous and interesting. Interesting to see what the ramifications of this will be.
Yeah, because there's nothing we can do about it now.
No. So it's like, it's frustrating, but it's also interesting to think about. Like, what is going to happen now? I'm sure there's more, I mean, there's going to be more Shin Megami and Persona games. There's, Digimon is releasing a new game soon, if it's not already out. I forget.
I never followed a Digimon, so I don't know.
I've been seeing news about it, so it's either already out or like just about to come out.
The thing is, though, too, is I don't know if this works with patents. I know this works with some things, but are the old games, obviously, that are already out and released, I'm assuming they're going to be grandfathered in, but will the series themselves be grandfathered in?
I don't know. That's the tricky thing, because, like, if that's the case, then it would be useless for them to do this now when they're going after Pal World, because Pal World is already out. But
they can't go after... I'm assuming they can't go after every game that ever has the concept of summoning one character to fight another character.
It's... I mean...
And, like, what do they mean by... It would be one thing, almost, if the patent was for summoning monsters. But then maybe not even that, because what would count as a monster? Is everything in Persona count as a monster?
It doesn't... They don't even say monsters. They
say that's what I'm saying.
Summoning a character.
Yeah. Whereas character is more overarching than just monster. Because some of the Personas since that's what we've played that has this concept. Monsters maybe wouldn't include things like actual deities, but character could.
Yeah.
So that's where it's like,
I mean,
it's so overarching. It's weird.
With character, you could say that even summoning other humans. Like
because they're characters in a video game.
I mean, even if you really think about it, if they really wanted to go after it, you could say even Battle Cats. You're summoning these characters to fight for you. Like, is it only games that are like where you control the character that are going to be safe?
Was there anything in the patent saying you have to capture the characters first?
No, this is just about summoning characters to fight for you.
Then that's basically fucking everything.
I mean,
because then it would also depend, and this is why legalese gets so ridiculous, because what counts as summoning? You could say, oh, if you're throwing them from like a ball or something, that counts as summoning. But like you said, would my battle cats count as summoning because I'm clicking them and they're appearing? Would summoning be, oh, we were playing Suikoden and we asked this one character to come with us? Like, what falls under summoning a character?
That's the thing too, because like some games, like Suikoden, yeah, you're making friends with people and they're coming with you. I guess I don't think most people would assume that's summoning. But then there's games like Persona 5X where the other characters that are with you, at least some of them, technically story-wise, they are being summoned up by the version of Elizabeth in that world. I forget her name. It's like Meroth or something.
Yeah, that's the thing. Like, the term of summoning could be stretched to whatever you want it to mean. You could be like, I called my friend and summoned them to come over.
Yeah, that's true.
So, like, what the fuck? And this is, again, why legal documents have to be so precise in what they mean by a word.
It's weird. That's the weird thing, that the patent office would even allow this when it's so vague. I'm guessing the whatever person was like hearing this case, or obviously they weren't like a gamer. I mean, they just like, okay, I don't know. Last time I played video games with Atari with Pong, so I guess sure. Or maybe they think of like Call of Duty or Madden or something. But like,
actually, you brought that up as like playing with Atari, and I was thinking Tetris. Would that not count? Because you're summoning... you're not summoning the blocks. They're summoning themselves. Okay, maybe that doesn't work.
Actually, you know what? Suikoden also does have a little bit of summoning. I don't know if you remember, but if you use the Pale Gate rune, it's kind of like in Final Fantasy when you use the summon commands, and the character is basically summoning a monster to come do an attack. And it's like, does that count?
Apparently, because you're summoning a character.
By the language, yeah, that would count. And it's like, Nintendo probably isn't going to go after Final Fantasy or Suikoden or any of these games. Like,
sure, they're not going to go after the big boys, but they're going to attack every other small dude that can't protect themselves.
That's the thing. Like, it becomes a world to develop, especially for indies, to develop a game. Like, what if I want to make a JRPG kind of game, and one of my characters summons monsters from the other world, to, just like in Final Fantasy, to do like a one-time attack. They're going to have to be wondering, like, technically Nintendo could come after us because they have a patent on this idea now.
Yeah, does that mean any indie game can no longer have like a necromancer because they're summoning the dead to fight for them?
Yeah.
Like, necromancers are just straight to jail.
Jeez. Like, the warlocks in World of Warcraft just have to be canceled altogether.
Yeah.
I don't know, man. Like, yeah, obviously Nintendo's probably not going to go after companies like that. And they probably wouldn't even go after somebody making like a JRPG or like where you can summon. Like, Final Fantasy Tactics, the remake, isn't out yet, but it's going to be out by the end of the month. And like, that has monster summoning in it. Like, they could theoretically go after them. And it's now we're just in the environment of like, there's this legal thing that could happen, and people are just going to ignore it and pretend it doesn't exist. And like, fine, we kind of already do that too with like copyright and like infringing with piracy or even Let's Plays. Like, technically Nintendo owns all the art for Pokemon, and like, if you're making a fan game or even just putting up a Let's Play, they could be like, you know what? No, you're not allowed to do that.
I mean, we have had the precedent where Nintendo has come in at Let's Plays and be like, You can do it, but you can't make money off of it.
Yeah.
It's our money now.
Yeah, and it's like a lot of people were against that, but technically they're in their legal right to do that, and now they have another tool.
And you could be like, oh, you're taking this too far, and you're, being building up this conspiracy of what Nintendo's going to do. But, like, at the same time, if Nintendo wasn't going to do some of the things that we're potentially predicting, why would they go through all this trouble to set up a patent for this anyways? Honestly,
it feels like they just... something about Pal World has triggered them so hard that they've gone, like, nuclear with this stuff. And it's going to cause weird repercussions in gaming in general. So, I guess in a sense, it'll be interesting to see what happens if anyone ever challenges that. Because, like, there are so many games that, like, kind of are on the edge of that. Like, again, like Persona. And then some games like Shin Megami Tensei, for example. Because, like, I'll play Shin Megami Tensei 5 at some point. In those games, it's not like the Personas where they kind of, like, come up for a second, do their attack, and go away. Which is still summoning them, I guess.
Yeah, that might even be more so.
But in Shin Megami Tensei, it's literally like you are summoning them to be with you and fight with you at your side.
Yeah.
So, I don't know, man. That's even more like Pokemon. It's gonna be... It's just depressing that these big companies are doing this. And I know a lot of people are gonna be like, oh, you're just Nintendo haters. But it's like, any of the big companies doing this shit is bad. Nintendo gets away with it more because people love their image and, like, nostalgia. And it's Mario, the Mario company. But, like, it's not cool for these companies to be doing this kind of thing, in my opinion.
Yeah, it's just really weird.
So that's going to be, in a way, fun to see what happens. Like, I'm rooting for the Pal World devs, but...
Yeah, because, like, no one's saying that Nintendo can't continue making Pokemon.
Yeah.
No one's... I mean, yeah, we make fun of it in the sense of, like, we'll call the Pal World monsters Pokemon, but everyone knows what an actual Pokemon is if they play games.
And honestly, everyone benefits when people get to play with these ideas. Pal World came out, and it was a great game.
Yeah, because it's just variety.
It was a lot of fun. People enjoyed it. Nintendo got mad, and some people were, like, stroking the flames. But guess what? The next Pokemon game Nintendo's putting out has taken ideas from Pal World. Like, now they're going to have real-time battles just like Pal World does.
Yeah, and that's probably a good thing. I mean, depending on how you view Pokemon games, that they took a good idea and they're going to use it, and maybe that will make the next Pokemon game not suck ass. I don't know.
I mean, I wouldn't put it like that, but yeah, it's just fun to play with these ideas, to have, like, oh, I enjoyed Pal World and the way the monsters would just fight on their own in, like, real time. And now Pokemon is going to experiment with that too. It's great.
Maybe the Pokemon company could experiment with better textures and graphics.
Well, they are still stuck on the Switch hardware.
Yeah, but it's Switch 2, so apparently they could get something that looks like
I don't know
Legend of Zelda 2 and
I don't know if the new Pokemon game is Switch 2 exclusive, so they would still have to program for Switch 1 in mind. Anyway, that's enough of that, I guess. It's fun to just theorize and think about, but let's move on.
Okay, fine.
I got 2 demos I want to talk about.
Okay. Should we talk about the one we played together first, or the one that I have no idea what you're talking about?
Let's go with the one I played alone first.
Okay.
I think you'll still have some input because I want to ask you things about Frostpunk.
Oh, okay, fair.
Now, this game is called DarkSwitch. I don't know what the name invokes in your mind, but it's basically kind of like a city builder, except you're in this world where it's covered by this mystical shroud. It's foggy, misty, kind of mushroomy. It's not super clear what it is, at least if there was something in the story about it. I guess either I missed it or it just hasn't happened yet. But even though this is a city builder, there's also kind of like a story going on. Like, there's the main mayor guy and, like, some of his, like, people that work with him. Like, the dude who takes care, who's, like, the head of the guard, and then, like, this engineer girl or whatever. As you're building this town around this tree, it's kind of like, I don't know, I guess you could see, like, tree houses. But you could also, like, you can build houses and buildings onto the tree, and they'll, like, put ladders and elevators. Well, I think they're ladders. But you can also just build on the ground.
Okay.
But if you build on the ground, you have to deal with the shroud. So you have to, like, build, like, these torch stations or flame stations where, like,
It'll clear the air.
Yeah, just around it barely. and those have to be manned by rangers. So you have like 3 classes of workers. You have like the standard workers, log chopping dudes.
Yeah.
You have like skilled workers. They're better at like doing skilled stuff like making the meals or being medics.
Right. Okay, so this is literally Enshrouded meets Frostpunk.
And then the final class is the rangers. They man the lighthouses and guardhouses and stuff like that. And they also go on scouting missions.
Yep.
It's really starting to sound like that, huh?
Yeah.
I've never played Frostpunk, but even I was like, this is like Frostpunk, right?
Did you also... I forget if you mentioned this on the walk, that it's like in a circular pattern?
Kind of, in the sense that the building that you do is around this big tree. I don't know if the tree has anything particularly special about it, or they're just building on it because like the building's up above. They're kind of safe from the shroud, where building on the ground is more dangerous because the shroud can roll in. Especially at night, it really rolls in. So it has a day-night cycle, and during the day, there's less shroud, at least at the start. And again, it kind of reminded me of Frostpunk, like, oh, during the day, maybe it's warmer, but then later on, as the story happens, there's some days...
coming in, yeah.
Just like that, some days eventually later on, the shroud starts coming in during the day, too. And, like, as you're building and, researching, because you have to research, like, oh, we can make better woodcutters, or...
As is tradition.
They had, like, I guess, robots, too. I didn't get to the robots. Yep.
Robots are also a thing.
I was just about to unlock the robots, but the story ended and the demo ended.
Oh, well, poor
so
you.
I didn't get to see that. But yes, there are robots in this game. There's airships too. Like, part of the story is like at some point this airship comes in, and these, like, I don't want to say it's cultists, but they're kind of like dressed up and they're like worshiping the sun, and they got masks and robes and stuff. But their religion feels more entwined in the society than just like cultists. They're not like some fringe group. They have power. So you have to deal with them, and they're like, some of you people are blasphemous, and you have to make a bunch of choices.
Yeah. And
same for like when you see people out and about, like most of the time it's just like, oh, you're just bringing them in. But there was one point where you found some that like they went mad in the shroud. So it's like, are we going to take them in or not? And like you take them in. Then like, oh, some of the people that are mad in the shroud are like, they're going crazy and they're trying to burn stuff down. So like, what do you do about them? So, like, as you're playing, building the stuff, you get, like, those story elements and, like, having to make choices.
Yeah, that's literally.
Yeah. And, like, it's funny. Like, I've never played Frostpunk, but this was like, this is Frostpunk.
Yeah.
But I like it. I enjoyed it. I like the aesthetic, especially, like, the mixture of, like, fantasy shroud and, like, ooh, the airships and the robots and stuff. And, like, I actually really enjoyed the demo. There were some things that were kind of weird, like I didn't quite understand at some point the ranger stations that were like trying to beat back the shroud, they just were not working that well. And I don't know if that's because the shroud was too strong or if it's story reasons or whatever, but like I'm wondering if that's how it was in Frostpunk too, like, oh, there's areas away from the thing where you're building like heat furnaces so that you can build further out. Is that a thing?
Exactly.
And then like at some point it's like they're just not strong enough.
Exactly.
Wow.
It's basically a 1-to-1, except instead of cold, it's mushroom shroud.
Maybe you should try it then. You liked Frostpunk, right?
Yeah. I mean, I didn't play it for super long, but I also kept playing because, I don't know, at the beginning especially, just trying to get used to like how the systems work, obviously are going to fail a couple of times.
That's the thing, like, it felt like at some point some things felt hopeless. But I didn't think, I mean, I didn't actually fail at any point, luckily.
Yeah, it gets pretty close. It'll keep you, like, right on the edge of, we're all gonna fucking die, and then... Actually, that happened with one of my games. I forget which storyline it was specifically. It might have just been the first one, honestly. And you go through, and you're trying to get all the resources, and you're trying to keep the heat up of the main furnace and all the furnaces out and about the area. And we had to get all the meals and keep everyone fed. And the temperature keeps dropping. And then at one point, there's like a span of maybe 5 to 10 days, I don't remember how long, where just completely the temperature just bottoms out. I think we were like getting towards the end of like the last 2 or 3 days, and I'm like, we're not gonna make it. And then we fucking made it through, and I won the scenario, and I'm like, holy shit. Like, it is, yeah, that is some bleak shit.
So yeah, I don't even know why I had this. This game was wishlisted on my account. I must have wishlisted it at some point because I thought it looked cool, and I just didn't remember. And then at one point, I got an email. I was like, "Oh, there's a demo available for it." So okay, I tried it, and it was fun. It kind of does make me want to try Frostpunk now.
Yeah, we have it, so you might as well.
But like, I guess at the same time, I would admit that I kind of like the aesthetic of this more. But I don't know. Maybe I have to give Frostpunk a shot. The art is. When I first played it, I'm like, is this AI generated? But I don't know. I don't think that's fair for me to make that assumption.
You'd have to check the store page.
I didn't see anything about that. And I guess for me, it was just like, oh, the art is really well done. And I guess I kind of assumed this was a small dev team. Like, could they afford to make all this good art? But maybe they did. So yeah, let me double check the name again. I forgot already.
DarkSwitch.
That's it, DarkSwitch.
I wonder why they chose that name.
So I beat the scenario, and like at the end something big happens, and it's like, oh, okay, and it's like, well, that's the prologue. And it was fun, but like, again, part of me was like, oh, I was unlocking stuff in the research tree, and there's way more I didn't unlock, and I just about got to the robots. I was like, I can't wait to build a robot, but I never got to because the story ended. So it kind of makes me wonder, like, is there going to be like a free play mode? Does Frostpunk have a free play mode?
I don't remember. I remember the 2 scenarios I played, but that's about it.
I liked the story. Well, I liked the story and scenario enough. I could do without it, but it was also not bad. It was interesting, and like stuff kept happening. So it's like, oh, what's gonna happen? Having to deal with like random things, like, oh, suddenly there's these beasts coming out of the shroud, and we have to like, deal with that. And like, the story stuff kind of added a neat twist to a city builder that I haven't really experienced. Because like, I've played games like Banished, right? And like, there's no story stuff there. So like, you don't have to randomly deal with like, oh, suddenly like there's this thing that you have to deal with. It's just a game.
Yeah, it's whatever you want to make it, and whatever your imagination is capable of thinking up while you're playing it.
Whereas this is like, it's constant. It's throwing stuff at you to like, this is a new thing you have to deal with, and like, oh, this just happened, so what are you gonna do?
I mean, if you do like that, I think you would really like Frostpunk.
Okay, so yeah, that was an interesting game that I wanted to bring up, because even though I never played Frostpunk, I was like, this has gotta be just Frostpunk, right? So it was good to ask you, because I know you played through that.
And to kind of tie this into what we talked at the start of the podcast, this is the thing, like, you could say, oh, Frostpunk made this particular game, and so no one else can make that type of a game. And I know some people, and I know I've probably said this before, so I'm trying not to be like a super hypocrite or something if I forgot what I've said in the past. But like, it's also interesting to see people take, okay, I liked Frostpunk, I want to make something like that.
Yeah.
And then I also like, say, Enshrouded, and I like that. So I'm just going to combine the 2.
Yeah.
And that's perfectly fine, too. Like, I mean, that's basically everything. That's art. That's technology.
Yeah.
It's just, I like this idea. I also like this idea, or multiple ideas. Let's just combine it and see what happens.
Yeah.
And that's perfectly fine.
Everyone wins in that scenario. We get, like, a cool new game to play. The people that loved Frostpunk, they got to, like, I got to make my own. It's kind of like when I thought, like, I want to make, like, an Advance Wars game. Or when, like, somebody made Tactics Ogre, and then Square made Final Fantasy Tactics. It's like, it's fine. Everyone, is toying with these different ideas and making different enjoyable games for us to play.
Yeah.
And even, like, when you mentioned Enshrouded, like, that has taken elements from other games, like the glider, straight from, like, Breath of the Wild. But it's fine. They have their own twist on it. It's just sad that Nintendo is doing this with the Pokemon thing.
Yeah.
So yeah, that was a DarkSwitch. That was a fun game. I don't know when it's coming out, but the demo's up there if anyone wants to try it. I thought it was fun.
Yeah, maybe I'll try the demo, and then you can try Frostpunk.
Yeah, maybe someday. I think I already got plans for this week, but...
Yeah, fair. I know this month is a little chaotic, so... Yeah,
so I guess I do have that one more demo then I could talk about. And you were there with me for a little bit of it.
Yeah, I'm not going to be very nice about it, but...
Yeah, you're not into this kind of game, I guess. Which is funny, because I guess you tolerate JRPG weirdness a lot better when it was like Suikoden or Persona. Even though I know there's some cringe things in both of those, too.
Yeah, but the cringe is I don't know, to me, the cringe is like, okay, it's a little bit, but it's not like always cringe. This one is just like, it's mostly cringe. And I can only tolerate so much.
Okay, so the game is Trails in the Sky, first chapter. Now, Trails in the Sky is originally a game from 2004. It was a JRPG that's like 2D sprites on top of this 3D rotating map that you would walk around with your characters, get into random battles, but the random battles would be kind of like a strategy kind of thing where you have to deal with like positioning and movement of your characters. So it's not like just Final Fantasy or Suikoden where you just worry about attack and defense.
Yeah, it's a little mix of Final Fantasy tactics.
Just tactics in general, but not like Final Fantasy tactics. It's more like open movement where you get like a circle that you can move around in.
Okay, true.
Whereas some tactic games are more like grid based, like Final Fantasy Tactics or Fire Emblem or even like Civ. They have like their own grids. Whereas other games, you just move around like in a free circle, basically. Anyway, I played the original years ago. I think I mentioned this last week, so I'll try not to go too far into it. I don't remember how far I got in the original. I think I've played the demo to a point that is already further than what I played the original. This is a big demo, by the way. I'm not done with it. I thought
it's the full first chapter.
Yeah, the prologue. Last night I was playing it, and I kept playing and playing, thinking, okay,
it's got to end soon, right?
I'm going to get to the end of the demo, so I'm just going to, play through it. But no, I got to the end of this part, and they're like, okay, now there's this other thing you got to do. And that opened up a bunch of other side quests. And honestly, I'm kind of having fun with it.
Hey, if you're enjoying it, by all means, enjoy it.
Now, okay, I will say, when we first played it, I was still getting, like, my head around how the combat system worked. Because in this new version, I guess they added a real-time action combat system to it. I think this is a thing that the new Trails of games have been doing. So when they remade the first Trails of game, they just added it into that as well. And I guess the thing is, it's for, like, when you're running around doing your random battles in the open world, you don't have to go into the slower turn-based strategy thing all the time. If you want, you can just, for the random battles, you can just do the action combat to get through it faster, basically.
Sort of.
You can also, when you're fighting this way, you can do certain moves, and if you stun the enemy, you can switch right into the turn-based combat if you want to. I mean, you can switch into the turn-based combat anytime you want. But if you do it after you stun an enemy, you get like an advantage in the turn-based, and that kind of makes things go by faster. So it can be kind of a fun balance of like, oh, I'm wailing on all these little enemies, and I got a bunch of them stunned, so I'm going to switch into like the turn-based real quick, unleash a really powerful move to wipe them out real quick. And it's kind of a fun balance of figuring out, do I want to switch into the turn-based? Am I just going to finish it in the action phase or whatever? But also, when you're fighting in the turn-based, as long as it's not a boss or like a story or quest-specific battle, you can actually switch back to the action combat at any time, which is kind of a neat thing. It's an interesting balance. I don't know if I fully like it. Like, there's some things that I wish I could do in the action. Like, you can't do magic spells, for example.
Which seems weird, but yeah.
Yeah, like, it would be cool if I could bring up almost like a Secret of Mana style spell wheel or something to cast spells while in the action mode, but you can't do that. You got to switch into the strategy combat to do that stuff. That also opens up other skills and special attacks to do that you can only do in the turn-based mode, which, I mean, okay, fine, I guess it's just easier that way. But I've been slowly getting used to the combat and figuring it out. It can be kind of hard, actually, with some of the forced battles that you can't run away from, or that you can't do in the action mode. There was one where I had to use one character against 4 of these freaking flying cat things, and that was really hard. It was just, I didn't know how to deal with being outnumbered like that. So when you die, you can just retry from there, and it also has an option for retry where the enemies are easier. After losing to that 4 cat battle so many times, I'm like, okay, let's try this restart where the enemies are slightly easier. And it cut down how much damage they did to you a little bit, and yeah, that made it so that battle was just barely passable for me. I don't know.
Damn.
I don't know what I was doing wrong in that battle, but it feels like if you're playing a tactics game and you're ganged up on 4-1, it's just, I don't know how to deal with that.
Yeah, that seems a little excessive.
But it was a good shot to try out this option they gave. Like, what is it like when you choose the retry, but the enemies are slightly debuffed or something?
Yeah, at least they give you options.
Yeah, I mean, I'm not here to like be the sweaty tryhard with these games, so I don't really care. And that was just like a side quest. So in this game, you're basically playing as Estelle and her brother Joshua, and they want to be bracers, which in this world is like, I guess they're kind of like mercenaries, but they don't just do monster hunting; they also do like deliveries and repair
They also
work.
do Grubhub.
Yeah, yeah. So one of the quests was basically like, I need you to deliver this thing to this broken street light. It's not really a street light. It's kind of like,
Lamppost.
yeah, but they're like magical in the way where like they kind of repel the monsters a bit. So they have them lined up along the paths in the wilderness, so people can safely travel the paths. So you go out to fix the thing, and like while one of you is fixing it, the other person has to fight the monsters, and that's the battle I was just talking about.
Oh, okay. I was like, always remember you being in a battle with at least 2 people. So where did this one person fight happen?
Yeah, that was the one where it's like, okay, one person has to like repair while the other one's defending them.
Okay, that makes sense.
That one was like probably the hardest thing in the game for me so far. There was another one where it's like, oh, there's this big strong monster out in the field that you have to go kill. So the first time I tried that, again, because it was like a specific quest battle, you couldn't just cheese it in the action mode. Because if I'm just there like dodging everything, I'm sure it would be easy. But once you get into like the turn-based stuff, you can't just dodge as easily. You have to rely on the stats. And like, sure, sometimes the enemy will miss, but it's just a different combat system altogether, which is kind of weird in a way, but I don't know.
Should we talk about all the cringe that happens in the game? Or
yeah, I guess I've been talking a lot about the combat because I guess at some point that becomes a big part of the game. But
I mean, yeah, most games, a big part of the game is combat of some sort.
But I guess we can talk about the story a bit. So, yeah, when you start the game, you're basically Estelle and Josh are like kids. I guess they're like 10 years old or something.
Well, you start off the game and you're as Estelle, and your dad comes home and he's carrying what looks like a dead body. And he's like, hey, I came across this kid, so let's just take him in.
I got a surprise for you, and it's just like this kid.
It's like, what the hell?
I guess, yeah, I'm sure maybe later on they'll explain what happened, but for now it's just like, your dad brought in this kid, and now you got like a brother, I guess, sort of. So he raises you both, and it's very anime. It's a JRPG, but it's like extra anime.
Yeah.
Like Estelle is like kicking him in the face, and like the dad is like, well, in this house, she's in charge.
Yeah. and it's just a very little nitpick, but it's just weird how like this kid is like, where the hell am I? And he's like, honestly reacting perfectly normal to being kidnapped by some random dude waking up in his house. And Estelle is like, calm down, you're gonna hurt yourself. And then she like fucking punches him in the face. Like, I'm sorry, what? Excuse me?
Yeah, it's not explicitly clear what happened in the beginning. I guess her dad found him hurt out in the wilderness.
I guess.
And he brought him back to nurse him to health. But then like he just stayed, and they raised him as like her brother.
Yeah, like I think I made this comment while we were playing. I'm like, that's some serious Stockholm syndrome.
It's like, why didn't he just, after being healed up, go back to where he came from? Like, I guess this is something that must be explored later in the story. I don't know. But, yeah, at this point, their dad is just raising them both, and it's fine. Like, the kids now they have to go pass a test to become bracers. So, like, you get sent into the sewer, and, of course, your first fucking mission in this game, this RPG, is to go in the sewer and fight a bunch of rats.
I mean, the rat design is interesting because they're kind of like kangaroo rats, but they have this like little mask and horns thing on them, and they also don't have like front paws, so they just have their back legs. It's kind of interesting but kind of weird. And then you have like 3 types of the rats, and it's just a small rat, a medium rat, and a big rat, and they're all the same model.
Yeah,
it's just a size difference. So like, okay, you did not try.
And there's also, like, you run into, like, a swarm of bugs is one of the enemies.
Oh, yeah.
And the gimmick, when they're tutorializing for you, is like, oh, you can't hit these guys very easily with physical attacks, so use your spells. But if you're in the action mode, you can just spam attack, and, like, some of them will miss, but you'll eventually do enough to knock them out anyways.
Yeah. I mean, most of the attacks miss, but...
After that, yeah, they become, like, officially join the Bracers Guild, and they can start taking on quests. And it's basically like you get a quest board, and some of them are just, I lost my shiny rock, can you find it? And it's in the sewer, so you gotta fight some things to get it. Or I need this delivered, or I need to get a mushroom.
Yeah, sure.
JRPG shenanigans.
Yeah, okay, that's silly or whatever. But what about, like, the fact of the systems are, like, seemingly so complicated, because just watching you have to get through all that tutorial and explaining exactly how these orb things work inside your timepiece was, like, exhausting.
Yeah, the tutorial is
old school.
Yes, they really just handhold you through it, and you it's, like, presented in the story, so you can't, like, skip through it.
Oh, yeah, because didn't you want to do something, and they're like, no, you have to hit this specific button or something?
Yeah, I think there was a point where we got the little orbs, and I wanted to go equip them, but that option in the menu was grayed out. So I had to go talk to the shopkeeper, and then he would tell me how to do it. It's like, oh, okay, but I think I was getting the idea.
Yeah. If you've ever played some of those specific mobile games where they're like, you have to do this, and you could click all over the screen, but you can only hit that button. This is what this game is doing.
I think back around 2004 when this game came out, yeah, there were a lot of games were getting to the point where, like, we got to make sure people know how to play this. We're making complicated systems. Whereas, like, when you play, like, Final Fantasy VII, it's basically the same kind of idea. You get materia, and you slot it into your character, except instead of your weapons, your character has the slots, and you can, like, unlock more later. But it's not too dissimilar to the materia system, I would say.
But it just feels like, I mean, again, this is an old school system, and they had to handhold you and stuff. But even back then, either they could have made the systems not this complicated, or have slowly introduced the concept and not stuff all this in, like, the first hour of the game that you're playing.
Yeah, it could have been better. Mm-hmm. But once you get the hang of it, yeah, like I said, it's kind of like the materia system with a slightly different twist. It's not too hard to wrap your head around. It's just a shame that the tutorial is presented in such a forced and boring way. It does kind of hurt the beginning of the game a bit. Once you get past that and you're done with all the tutorials and you're just exploring the world and talking to people, it becomes a lot more fun. I think when we were streaming, we were just about to the point where, like, oh, Dad gets summoned away, so we have to take his jobs for him.
Oh, yeah.
At least some of them, some of the easier ones. The other, like, more experienced guild members will take the harder jobs. So one of the first ones is like, oh, go down to the farm and you got to protect they're getting attacked by monsters and their crops are being eaten up. So we go down there and, yeah, we meet the creatures that are attacking the farm, and they're these weird little cat-looking things. Not to be confused with the flying cats, which are also cat things.
I was gonna say, like...
Yeah.
Okay.
It's like, oh, one of the second monster types we see is also just a cat thing.
Wow, they really strained their imagination with these monsters' designs.
It was weird, but that leads to another, boss battle where there's, like, the big cat and then the little cats, and again, because it's a boss battle, you can't use the action mode. You have to use the strategy mode.
Boo.
But I got through it easy enough. There was an interesting part after where, because they're cute little cat monster things, Estelle and the girl at the farm were like, oh, look at them. And one of the options was like, Estelle says, do we really have to kill them? And so, it becomes kind of a sappy little anime thing where, like, Estelle doesn't want to kill them. The girl that lives at the farm doesn't want to kill them.
That seems fair.
And Joshua was like, well, they're just going to come back and eat the stuff again. Our job was to, like, get rid of them. We're basically doing pest control.
Did they take one of them in?
But then the mom was like, well, maybe they've learned their lesson. I was like, are you sure? They are just, like, these wild cat monster things.
Yeah, but you can, like, prevent pests instead of just outright murdering them all the time.
Then the dad comes in and he's like, yeah, I guess we'll try to prevent it. We'll build better fences and stuff. So Joshua's like, well, okay, I don't agree with you guys, but you're the ones that hired us for this, so if you want to let them live, we'll let them live. So yeah, that was the thing. It was like, we're just going to let them be. We repelled the monsters, the cute little cat monsters, and decided we're not going to exterminate them after all.
Does it come back to bite you in the ass?
We go back to the guild, and we tell her, like, oh yeah, we repelled the monsters, we didn't kill them. And the guild leader's like, well, you know, your job was to kill them, to exterminate the pests, right?
Right, but the people paying us didn't want us to do that.
Yeah, so they talk about that, and she's like, well, okay, whatever, that's their decision. Later on, there's an interesting scene with Joshua, where he confesses to Estelle that, like, you know, I didn't agree with how that went. I thought we should just kill them. But then everyone was like, no, we should, you know, let them be. And he confesses that he didn't quite understand. He thinks there's something wrong with him, basically. He didn't feel empathy for these little monsters. And he's like, is there something wrong with me that I didn't feel empathy for them? Like, I just wanted to kill them because that was our job. And they have this discussion, and it was really, like, kind of interesting to me to see, like, a lot of times in these, like, anime games, like, you'll have the character that's like, oh yeah, I'm so badass, like, nothing personal, kid, that kind of thing.
Yeah.
And Joshua, in his, like...
At least he has the ability to self-reflect on it.
Yeah, and he was feeling, like, kind of shocked that, like, I saw how you felt empathetic to these monsters. I didn't feel that. Is there something wrong with me? Like... Maybe and they have this discussion, and it kind of, like, I don't know, it kind of hit me in the way of, like, okay, I kind of want to know more about these characters. I liked their interaction. In a lot of games or stories, people just don't fucking talk.
Yeah.
It's like, I'm having this issue internally, and I'm not going to tell anybody.
Yeah, that's what my big issue was in Suikoden.
Yeah, and, like, here, this character, who has a lot of other flaws, frankly, at least was able to admit to Estelle, like, I think I don't know if there's something wrong with me, but I didn't care about these things like you did. And, like, they just had a conversation about that, and she's like, basically she was just happy that he was talking to her about this. Like, I'm glad you're opening up and telling me this, because
yeah, that sounds good.
There were other things where, like, she was worried that he was not, like, opening up in other ways, because they're, like, basically siblings, but not really at the same time, because they're not blood related. They just around the age of 10 they grew up together. So, like, there's kind of this also, hey, step bro kind of vibe to things. Or, like, do they have a crush on each other? It's not, like, explicitly clear.
I mean, that would be surprising if they didn't, honestly. But.
Yeah, there are points where, like, another point where Estelle teases him about a girl. Like, oh, are you into this girl? You know, maybe you should think of a pickup line next time you see her, and, like, teasing him. And he's, like, getting all flustered. But he also has this kind of annoying anime-ish trope of, like, oh, Estelle is so childish.
Yeah, I was also thinking, and it's probably an anime trope or whatever, where, especially in the beginning, and it's kind of hard because I know, you know, one of the characters has to be like the player and not know any of the stuff that's going on, because the player themselves doesn't know what's going on or how these systems work or all these countries. But, like, they were really playing her up as in, like, she had the most severe case of ADHD. She doesn't pay attention. She doesn't want to do her work. She doesn't know what's going on. She's always, like, off in her own little world. And she's like, oh, she's so dumb. She's so bad at doing tests and stuff. And she didn't remember she had this big quiz today and all that stuff. And I'm like, wow, they really fucking played that up.
Yeah, and, like...
It's like they have some good ideas, but they take the cringe stuff and turn it up to 11.
Yeah. It's sad because, like, I'm kind of, as I play more and more of this demo, I'm starting to like both of them. But there are times when Joshua says stuff that just makes me want to strangle him. But I have to remember that I'm looking at this as an adult. And
True,
this is a
do some
16-year-old
stupid
kid
shit.
who is trying to be mature, but he's also still just a dumb kid. So, yeah, there are times, like, there was a point where we had to go to the mines because the mayor wanted us to pick up this delivery from the mine foreman. And in the mine, there's this little minecart section where you have to ride. And Estelle was like, whoa, this looks fun. And she gets in it and she's like, yeah, this is fun. And then fucking Joshua, the killjoy, is like, oh, God, she's so childish.
God forbid she has fun.
Yeah, I just want to reach in and like smack him. Like, you are a fucking 16-year-old. I get it. You want to be the macho man and be super serious and not be childish. But your sister is having a little bit of joy in her life. Fucking calm down, dude.
I mean, we experience this basically every day on the internet. Like, someone enjoys something and someone else is like, this is cringe, or you shouldn't be doing this as an adult.
Yeah.
Or, I mean, yeah.
And that's the funny thing, too, because I know in general, like, this game does kind of, especially to you, have those moments where like, oh god, this is so cringe. But then Joshua is also doing that to Estelle like all the time, and it's like, it's okay to be a little cringe. She's just having fun, and she's just a nice, good person. Like, when she was talking about the test that they were taking, there was time when like the NPCs are like, okay, now you have to do this and remember to read this. And I was with Estelle. I'm like, I am tired of all this fucking test shit and all this stuff. I just want to get into the adventure. Yeah. So like, I related to Estelle in that sense.
Yeah, that's fair.
So I don't know. It's been fun.
It's been a back and forth of like, this has really good story parts, and then they're gonna just go too far into it and do something really stupid about it, or one of the characters is gonna say something and I'm gonna want to strangle him to death over it.
Yeah, but then at the same time, when he like actually admitted about like, you know, maybe I'm not sure how I'm feeling about things, like, that's also really good, because like,
yeah, definitely,
so many stories, it's just like, imagine how freaking Breaking Bad could have been avoided if just they fucking talked to each other so many times.
I mean, that's most stories.
Yeah. So like, I don't know. I guess I'm kind of like coming around to this demo, and it's crazy because there's still more. I've done so much, and I thought it was over, but like, I did all the side quests, and then I did the main quest, right? And I'm like, okay, this must be over soon, because all the side quests are done. But no, it's like, oh, now there's this new main quest, and guess what? Some new side quests have popped up on the guild board, so there's more stuff to do, and I'm having fun, and I do want to keep playing it. So,
okay, maybe you can update us on the next podcast if you actually made it to the end of the first chapter or not. Yeah,
and see if I'll still like want to play once the final game comes out. Which honestly, probably, as much as I am enjoying it, I just think I want to play Final Fantasy Tactics more. So
that's fair.
I only have so much time for all these JRPGs, but I think I am overall liking it, and it's definitely going to be a game that I will endeavor to play someday, even if not right away. But I will finish the demo.
That sounds good.
So yeah, even though I know we had some moments in the stream where you're like, oh god, this is cringe, I think I am kind of liking it.
That's fine. Don't worry, I'm not going to get mad at you. You're allowed to have your fun, sweetie.
I think that's all I have to say about that for now.
Yeah, I like I said, I don't really have much. I watched you play games, and then I played some Battle Cats, and that's not going to be fun for anyone to listen to. So
yeah, even I'm like, I think I'm getting sick of Battle Cats. Like, I would sometimes join you to watch you play a little bit, like just cuddle on the couch and watch you play. But I started realizing, how much time am I spending here just watching you play this thing, and like, nothing much is happening.
Sorry, but sometimes that's how I feel about the streaming aspect too. But
well, maybe we can just stop streaming.
We'll think about it.
We are almost done with Persona finally.
Yay.
It's been fun getting all like the high level deities and stuff.
Yeah. Finally unlocked Satan, so that was cool.
Yeah. Literally summon Satan. Honestly, we'd probably be done like in the next 1 or 2 streams. Maybe 1 if I just...
Don't force yourself to do too much at once if you don't want to.
I want to get through the story stuff, but yeah, I'm also at the point where like I don't want to grind. Like, I'm seeing some of the high level personas like Messiah that we unlocked.
Oh yeah.
Like level 90 something is like, oh god, I don't think I'm gonna get that. As much as I want to, I'm probably not gonna get him.
That being said, you're getting a shit ton of XP with every one of these like big monster fights, and like everyone's leveling up so often, so who knows, maybe you will make it to 90.
We'll see if anything else unlocks, but I think I'm at the point of the tower where they're like, okay, this is the top and we have to wait until the end
of the month. Yeah.
So I don't think there's going to be more like big monsters. It would probably just have to be grinding.
I guess that's fair.
We'll see how that goes. Yeah. Tomorrow, there is, at least,
As of this recording.
yes, the day we're recording, tomorrow is going to be a new Nintendo Direct.
After their recent news, so that's gonna be interesting.
Yeah. Apparently it's Mario's 40th birthday or
shit,
something.
Mario is 40.
I might be misremembering that, but... So it might just be Mario stuff, but I'm secretly hoping for Fire Emblem.
I was gonna say we can talk about that stuff.
Well, once next week when we talk about it, we'll know what has happened. So I just want to say what I'm kind of hoping for.
Okay, I was thinking of something else, but that's fine.
I'm sorry. Yeah, sorry. This is me shouting out to the void, like, please, Fire Emblem. And then you who are listening in the future will know if my wish has come true or not.
Oh boy.
So we'll see. I don't know if you're wishing for anything. Probably not.
Nope.
Yeah, you live a much easier life in that sense. I'm like, I want to see...
don't play Nintendo stuff. What do I have to wish for?
I don't know. I mean, I don't play too much of it either, but if a new Fire Emblem came out, especially if it's Fire Emblem 4, the remake for Fire Emblem 4 that people have it's been in like leaks and rumors. So we're just all dying for Fire Emblem 4 to finally come out. We'll see. Other than that is like whatever. Maybe we'll get surprised with like something interesting. Maybe some new Advance Wars stuff. Although I don't like the direction they took the Advance Wars games with the 3D toy look. Anyways, I'm sorry. I know, you keep looking at the clock. Let's finish up.
We'll just leave you that with this for this week or whatever.
All right, fair enough. It's been another rambly week of dumbness here.
We hope you enjoyed hanging out with us.
I enjoyed hanging out with you, hon.
I love you too, sweetie. And we love you, so be good out there, okay?
Take care of yourselves and see you next week or whenever.
Bye.
Bye-bye.